Good morning, my dear children. A warm welcome to all of you for the new academic session. This is an introduction to the syllabus of Class 11 Biology, including all the units and the chapters. Biology is a science of life. It is the story of life on earth. It is the science of life forms and living processes. Biological systems often appear to challenge physical laws that govern the behavior of matter and energy in our world. Historically, biological knowledge was ancillary to knowledge of human body and its function. The latter, as we know, is the basis of medical practice. However, parts of biological knowledge developed independent of human application. Fundamentals, questions about origin of life, the origin and growth of biodiversity, the evolution of flora and fauna of different habitats, etc., caught the imagination of biologists. The very description of living organisms, be it from morphological perspective, physiological perspective, taxonomical perspective, etc., engaged scientists to such an extent that, for sheer convenience, if not for anything else, the subject matter got artificially divided into the subdisciplines of botany and zoology, and later into even microbiology. Meanwhile, physical sciences made heavy inroads into biology and established biochemistry and biophysics as new subdisciplines of biology. Mendel's work and its rediscovery in the early 20th century led to the promotion of study of genetics, the discovery of double helical structure of DNA, and the deciphering of three-dimensional structures of many macromolecules led to the establishment of and phenomenal growth in the dominating area of molecular biology. In a sense, functional disciplines laying emphasis on mechanisms underlying living processes received more attention, support, intellectual and social recognition. Biology unfortunately got divided into classical and modern biology. To the majority of practicing biologists, pursuit of biological research became more empirical rather than a curiosity and hypothesis driven intellectual exercise, as is the case with theoretical physics, experimental physics, structural chemistry, and material science. Fortunately and quietly, general unifying principles of biology were also being discovered, rediscovered, and emphasized. The work of Mayer, Dobzhansky, Haldane, Perutz, Corona, Morgan, Darlington, Fisher, and many others brought respect and seriousness to both classical and molecular biological disciplines. Ecology and systems biology got established as unifying biological disciplines. Every area of biology began developing inference with not only other areas of biology but also other disciplines of science and mathematics. Pretty soon, the boundaries become porous. They are now on the verge of disappearing altogether. Progress in human biology, biomedical sciences, especially the structure, functioning, and evolution of human brain, brought in respect of and physiological insights to the biology. Biology even stepped out of laboratories, museums, and natural parks and raised social, economic, and cultural issues, capturing the imagination of general public and hence political attention. Educationalists did not lag behind and realized that biology should be taught as an interdisciplinary and integrating science at all stages of educational training, especially at schools and undergraduate levels. A new synthesis of all areas of basic and applied areas of biology is the need of the honor. Biology has come of the age. It has an independent set of concepts which are universal, just like physics and chemistry and mathematics. The present volume is the first time presentation of integrated biology for the school level children. One of the lacunae in biology teaching and study is the absence of integration with other disciplinary knowledge of physics, chemistry, etc. Further, many processes in plants, animals, and microbes are similar when looked from physico-chemical perspective. Cell biology has brought out the unifying common cellular level activities underlying apparently diverse phenomena across plants, animals, and microbes. Similarly, molecular science, example biochemistry or molecular biology, has revealed the similar molecular mechanism in all these apparently diverse organisms like plants, animals, and microbes. Phenomena like respiration, metabolism, energy utilization, growth, reproduction, and development can be discussed in a unifying manner rather than as separate, unrelated processes in plants and animals. An attempt has been made to unify such diverse disciplines in this book. The integration achieved, however, is partial and not complete. Hopefully, along with these changes in the teaching and learning context to be brought out in the next few years. The next revision and restructuring. It is also in accordance with the spirit of National Curriculum Framework 2005 guidelines. The subject matter is presented under 22 chapters which are grouped under 5 thematic units. Each unit has a brief write-up preceding the unit highlighting the essence of the chapters to follow under that unit. Each unit also has a biographical sketch of a prominent scientist in that area. Each chapter has on the first page a detailed table of contents giving subheadings within the chapter. Decimal system using Arabic numerals has been employed to indicate these subheadings. At the end of each chapter, a brief summary is provided. This brings to the notice of the student what she or he is supposed to have learnt by studying the chapter. A set of questions is also provided at the conclusion of each chapter. These questions are essentially to enable the student to test herself or himself as to how much she or he has understood the subject matter. There are questions which are purely of information recall type. There are questions which need analytical thinking to answer and hence test true understanding. There are questions which are problems to solve, and finally, there are questions which need analysis and speculation as there is no one to answer to such questions. This tests the critical understanding of the subject matter in the mind of the student. Special emphasis has been given on the narrative style, illustrations, activity exercises, clarity of expression, coverage of topics within the available time in school. And a large number of extremely talented and dedicated people, including practicing teachers, helped in bringing out this beautiful textbook. Their main purpose was to make sure that school level biology is not a burden for students and teachers. We sincerely wish that teaching biology and learning biology would become an enjoyable activity. Here is the tabular presentations for the chapters and the units. 5 units which covers the 22 chapters. The first unit is diversity of living organism or diversity in the living world, which consists of 4 chapters. In that first chapter is the living world, that contains what is living, biodiversity, what is the need for classification, what are the domains of life, taxonomy and systematics, concept of species and taxonomical hierarchy, binomial nomenclature, tools for study of taxonomy, museums, zoological parks, herbaria, botanical gardens, etc. Second chapter of the unit is biological classification, which covers the topic 5 kingdom classification, salient features and classification of Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia into the major groups. Then comes the lichens, virus and viroids. Chapter 3 of the unit is plant kingdom, which deals with the salient features and classification of plants into major groups, that is algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnospermae and angiospermae. And the other classification, angiosperms, classification up to class, characteristics, features and examples. Fourth chapter is animal kingdom, which deals with the salient features and classification of animals, non-chordates up to phyla level and chordates up to class level. Next unit is structural organization in animals and plants. In that, first chapter is morphology of flowering plants, which deals the morphology and modifications. Next is the anatomy of flowering plants. In that, we discuss the anatomy and functions of different parts of flowering plants, that is root, stem, leaf, etc. And also inflorescence, flower, fruit, seed. Next is the structural organization in animals, where we will discuss the animal tissues, morphology, anatomy and functions of different systems. A brief account of cockroach, digestive, circulatory, respiratory, nervous and reproductive systems of cockroach. Next unit, that is unit 3, is cell structure and function. And the first chapter in that unit is cell, the unit of life, which deals about cell theory and cell as the basic unit of life, structure of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, plant cells and animal cells, cell envelope, cell membrane, cell wall, cell organelles, structure and function, endomembrane system, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, lysosomes, vacuoles, mitochondria, ribosomes, plastids, microbodies, cytoskeleton, cilia, flagella, centrioles, their ultrastructure and function, nucleus, nuclear membrane, chromatin, nucleolus, etc. Next chapter is biomolecules, which deals about the chemical constituents of living cells, biomolecules, structure and function of proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, enzymes, their types, properties, enzyme action. And the next chapter is cell cycle and cell division. Next unit is plant physiology. And the first chapter in that unit is transport in plants. Transport in plants like movement of water, gases and nutrients, cell to cell transport, diffusion, facilitated diffusion, active transport, plant water relations, imbibition, water potential, osmosis, plasmolysis, long distance transport of water, absorption, apoplast, symplast, transpiration pull, root pressure and guttation, transpiration, opening and closing of stomata, uptake and translocation of mineral nutrients, transport of food through phloem, transport, mass flow, hypothesis, diffusion of gases, etc. Next chapter in that unit is mineral nutrition. Essential minerals, macro and micronutrients and their role, deficiency symptoms, mineral toxicity, elementary idea of hydroponics as a method to study mineral nutrition, nitrogen metabolism, nitrogen cycle, biological nitrogen fixation, etc. Next chapter is photosynthesis in higher plants. Photosynthesis as a mean of autotrophic nutrition, site of photosynthesis, pigments involved in photosynthesis, photochemical and biosynthetic phase of photosynthesis, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation, chemiosmotic hypothesis, photorespiration, C3 and C4 pathways, factors affecting photosynthesis are the topic to be discussed in this chapter. Next chapter is the respiration in plants, exchange of gases, cellular respiration, glycolysis, fermentation, TCA cycle and electron transport system, energy relations, that is number of ATP molecules generated, amphibolic pathways, respiratory quotient, etc. Next is the plant growth and development, which covers the seed germination, phases of plant growth and plant growth rate, conditions of growth, differentiation, dedifferentiation and redifferentiation, sequence of developmental process in a plant cell, growth regulators, that is auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid, seed dormancy, vernalization, photoperiodism, etc. Next unit is human physiology. So the first chapter, digestion and absorption, which deals about the alimentary canal and digestive glands, role of digestive enzymes and gastrointestinal hormones, peristalsis, digestion, absorption and assimilation of proteins, carbohydrates and fats, calorific values of protein, carbohydrate, fats, digestion, nutritional and digestive disorders, PEM, indigestion, constipation, vomiting, jaundice, diarrhea, etc. are the topic discussed in this chapter. Next chapter is breathing and exchange of gases, which deals all these topics like respiratory system in humans, mechanism of breathing and its regulation in humans, exchange of gases, transport of gases and regulation of respiration, respiratory volume, disorders related to the respiration, etc. Next is the body fluids and circulation, which deals about the composition of blood, blood groups, coagulation of blood, composition of lymph and its function, human circulatory system, structure of human heart and blood vessels, cardiac cycle, cardiac output, ECG, double circulation, regulation of cardiac activity, disorders of circulatory system, etc. Next chapter is the excretory products and their elimination, which discuss about the modes of excretion like ammonotelism, ureotelism, uricotelism, human excretory system, structure and function, urine formation, osmoregulation, regulations of kidney function, etc. Next chapter is locomotion and movement, which deals about the types of movement, ciliary, flagellar, muscular, skeletal muscle, contractile proteins and muscle contraction, skeletal systems and its functions, joints, disorders of muscular and skeletal system, etc. Next chapter is neural control and coordination, which deals about the neurons and nerves, nervous system in humans, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and visceral nervous system, generation and conduction of nerve impulse, reflex action, sensory perception, sense organs, elementary structure and functions of eye and ear. The last chapter, that is the 22nd chapter of the book, is chemical coordination and integration, which deals about the endocrine glands and hormones, human endocrine system, hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal, pancreas, gonads, mechanism of hormone actions, role of hormones as messengers and regulators, hypo and hyperactivity and related disorders, etc.